Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February 19th meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Lundy has our word for the day.
In our inspirational word, there are different kinds of spiritual gifts, different ways of serving, different abilities to perform service.
Oh, good. And we have no dog this morning. Due to the holiday, they're closed today. So, Madam Clerk?
Under Resolutions Number 1, Investments.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
No advances, no repayments, requisitions.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Travel.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Bills.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mrs. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Mr. Cortez.
I'm just going to pause for a minute because the rate you're going, we're done with the meeting in 45 seconds.
We're efficient.
Very efficient. I do have a couple personnel issues, potential hires possibly at 911. We're beginning negotiations with our dispatchers. I'd like to talk about that. Sale of real estate. So I need to discuss that with the board. One pending legal matter. Council may have more. I don't know who got mad this week. However, all of those issues are allowable for executive session discussions under the Sunshine Act, so I'd ask at the conclusion of our regular board meeting, we go into executive session and discuss those matters that I've explained. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approve and waive the reading of the minutes of February 12th.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Receive and journalize an expedited one annexation petition for 36.5672 acres from Pittsfield Township to the City of Oberlin. Attorney Joshua E. Lamb is the agent for petitioner Brian S. Wade, Omega Health Services, to be put on the March 3rd, 2020 agenda for a decision.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Receive and journalize the Stormwater District petition from Pittsfield Township on the Brown Lateral Number 1. Viewing will be on April 6th and hearing on April 21st.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Hopefully, and I doubt that our drone opportunities will be done by then. I think it's still waiting on the third reading, so we're actually going to have to go out and walk it.
Just might have to bring boots.
Yeah, it'll be
Might
sloppy.
Be a little bit wet.
Might be a little bit sloppy.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Enter into a matching grant contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation Office of Aviation for the rehabilitate, sorry, I just couldn't get that out. Access Road at the airport in the amount of $7,221.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Clerk of Courts, approve and enter in a second amendment to master agreement with Pioneer Technology Group, LLC, for benchmark project scope and plan. Does not affect the previous pricing.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda. Aye. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Public comment.
Anybody wishing to address the board this morning?
Gerald W. Phillips, 461 Windward Way, Avon Lake, Ohio. I'd like to talk about the county building department. There have been a few public hearings. All 18 townships oppose it, and a number of them have sent resolutions opposing it. One of the trustees, Mr. McConnell from Pittsfield, stated at one of the public hearings why they were opposed to it, in the sense that they felt that it wasn't needed. People go to the townships for a certain standard of life, quiet, and they felt that the county was issuing a mandate, and the townships felt that it was being forced down their throats, and there was clearly resentment from the township trustees. I think there's just two options that are available. One, let the townships establish their own building department. Where the large townships, it's mandatory. Let the townships decide what threshold for the smaller ones that they can opt in or out. Also, they can provide an option that if the residents in those townships that are opting in or out, if they want the protection of the building department, they can request and they can get the inspections that they want. And it'll be up to the townships to, make that decision. The smaller ones like Pittsfield, Henrietta, Carlisle, Sheffield, Amherst, Elyria, I think they should have that choice. The other option, if the county, if the townships don't implement that, then if I get elected, I'm going to stay the county building department, and I'm going to modify it so that we adopt something similar to the township concept. I don't think having edicts, ordering people in the township something that they're opposed to, I don't think you're listening to the people. The last time I checked, it's a government by the people, for the people, and of the people. And when you ignore all 18 townships, I think you're doing a disservice to them. I think you need to work with it. And this attitude, it's my way or no way, it's just got to stop. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anybody else? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Cortez.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love when people talk about my way and no way, and then they rant and rave at other people's meetings. At least we didn't have that here today. As far as ramming things down people's throat, there's a responsibility to govern sometimes, and sometimes there's objections to that governing. If all we did was do nothing because some people didn't want to do anything, we would accomplish absolutely zero in life. So while it's nice to stand there and orate and do whatever you have to do to get people to vote for you, I've seen to remember certain people threatening other political jurisdictions if they didn't get it their way, they were going to sue them and do all kinds of ludicrous things to them. I think World War III was mentioned. I'm just about tired of listening to it. So people have to keep that in mind. I don't think any of us, even those in government, want to have things rammed down our throat, but sometimes we voluntarily submit to the democratic process. With that, I'll just remind you of my executive session this morning, and I yield to council.
Mr. Innes.
I do
God
have
bless you.
two matters of pending litigation for executive session. I would also mention that after we disbanded the last building department, we in fact did attempt to go to all the townships and have them form their own building departments. They found out it was inordinately expensive and impossible for them to do. So we've been there, done that, Mr. Phillips. And the state of Ohio building department has indicated that they don't like the opt-in, opt-out, and will oppose that in every way they can.
Was it 7 or 8 years ago that we gave them that long to try to form their own and nothing's
like that.
happened? So.
They asked for the very same thing. Unfortunately, and a lot of the people aren't here right now that were trustees at the time, but they were unable to come to a meeting of the minds. So we have a fractured approach throughout the community, which makes it really difficult, not to mention that some communities don't have it at all.
And some of them have voiced support. I don't think it's a unanimous at least privately, they have given words of support, so.
In fact,
That's-
if I recall, they were going to hire Peter Zwick as their building inspector. So.
Okay.
Commissioners report.
First, would like to, thank my colleagues and Representative Miller. We had a very good meeting with the county veterans. I think it gave everybody a chance to get the right information instead of the misinformation that was circulating. I think people found out about all the good things that the Veteran Services Board and the commissioners are doing and working together. Sometimes there's some people out in the community like to stir things up and misrepresent what actually is going on, and the Veteran Services Board said, boy, we got a great working relationship with the commissioners and things are going well. And and I think there are some people who have to understand that, Columbus sets the guidelines on what can and cannot be done. And, I know even sometimes the information comes over the prosecutor's office. Can we do this? Can we not do this? And the bottom line is that you have to be in compliance. And I think some folks were wanting to be able to spend some veteran services money on some things that aren't allowable, and but it had nothing to do with us by any means. So we enjoy a great working relationship with our veterans, and we'll continue to work with them in every way possible. Had a chance to tune into the radio the other day. I heard a brand new afternoon show, Sherry and Lori, on WEOL. And quite the tag team there, Mr. Cortez, as we've coined him, the tag team. They did a nice job on the radio, and guys sound like naturals there. But talking about our Visitors Bureau and the upcoming Mardi Gras that we're all excited about, did a very nice job. The Lorain Dem had a nice breakfast on Sunday. Really enjoyed that, a good turnout for that. And then it was also followed by a candidates forum over in Amherst, and thought everybody there did a really nice job. Everybody had a chance to also make up a cheer that day, which was kind of interesting. So I could never figure out I remember when I played CYO basketball, we did not have a very good team, but our cheerleaders would always do this cheer of our team is up, your team is down. I'm looking at the scoreboard thinking, it's not matching up here. But that was, maybe it was intended to get us motivated. I don't know. But it was a nice rally. I can't say enough good things about the State of the City by Mayor Frank Whitfield yesterday. And I thought he had a very inspirational message about everybody working together and trying to find ways to get things done instead of just simply saying, we can't do it or we've never done it that way. And saw the editorial in the paper today, and rightfully so, pointed out he's only been on the job for a short time, so it's hard to have all the fine details of what he wants to do. But, I think it all comes down to setting an atmosphere and having a mindset as to how you want to move forward. And I thought he did a good job of conveying his vision yesterday. And boy, what a turnout, just a huge turnout. People love going to the community college for events, and I think that always helps with greater turnout for events. And of course, we were all together for the rededication of the Toni Morrison Room at the Lorain Library for her, it was 89th, right? 89th birthday. And had a chance to join my colleagues as we provided them with a resolution. And I saw the original one we did commemorating her birthday here in Lorain County is being hung there in the room. So that was really, really nice to see. But she is really a jewel for this county and for this community, and she's inspired so many over the years, and she leaves behind a very, very strong legacy of inspiration.
Mm-hmm. So Friday, Commissioner Sweda and I attended the Opiate Action Team meeting at Mercy Rec Center in Amherst, and there's a lot of good information that can be accessed from the MARS website, which is www.mharsloraincounty.org. So I will give that information to Hal so he could put it up on the screen for later time for anybody that wants to access that information. We did have to leave a little early so we could attend that meeting that Commissioner Lundy talked about with the Veteran Service Commissioners, along with State Rep Joe Miller, to talk about issues pertaining to Veterans Affairs. And I think everyone came out of that meeting feeling good about how good the work is being done for our veterans, both with the Veteran Service Commissioners and the Lorain County Commissioners. Commissioner Sweda and I also, as Mr. Lundy said, went over to EOL to talk about Mardi Gras, and it starts tomorrow, so you can go to visit Lorain County to find out what businesses are participating in leading up to the 29th, which is when Terrence Simeon will be at Lorain County Community College. And it's going to be a great event. He's a 2-time Grammy Award winner, and he's straight out of New Orleans. So for just the concert, it's $10. For a concert and the food tasting is $25. It's going to be probably the biggest party of the year. So make sure you get out there and come out on the 29th at the college. Sunday, we all enjoyed the brunch at Spectrum in Lorain for the Democrat Spring Brunch. And then Monday, I went over to Place to Recover. Wendy Caldwell, who retired as a parole officer for the prison system, is working with people that have come out of jail or prison to get them jobs. And she's doing a really good job trying to keep people from getting incarcerated. So if you have somebody that is struggling, looking for employment, they could be recovering addicts, but they have to be sober for 90 days. They have to have a sponsor ready to go to work. You can call 440-522-2167, and they're located at 2096 North Ridge Road in Lorain, right across from Robert Taylor Insurance. So good job, Wendy. And then Tuesday, as Commissioner Lundy said, we all enjoyed Mayor Frank Woodfield's State of the City address. It was a very positive atmosphere and a lot of hope and passion towards the future. And from there, we went to the library for the rededication of Toni Morrison. So I know what it feels like to be the second one doing the report, because the first commissioner tells everything that we've done. So, yeah, number 3. Yeah, so... but anyways, Toni Morrison also shares my birthday and Don Walther's birthday. So everywhere I went yesterday, I said everybody's having a party, and it was just for me. They didn't know it, but it was all for me yesterday. So happy birthday to you too. So, end of my report.
And I'd like to add, when we were at the State of the City in Elyria, Commissioner Lundy and I did comment that we arranged that gathering for your birthday.
That's
and
right.
We're extremely anxious to see what you'll do on ours.
I know. Big shoes to fill.
So, all right. So I'm going to back up to Thursday. Last Thursday, we did talk about the WEOL interview, and I do want to mention, it's interesting because last year I did some of the promo for Mardi Gras, and I had the hardest time sticking on Zydeco instead of Zydeco. And it seems like one day last week I'm listening to a broadcast and they said Zydeco. And I right away got on the phone. I'm like, no, it's Zydeco. And I heard the airing of the commercial again, and it's repaired. On Thursday evening, I had a great opportunity. I'm good friends with Mike Schroll, who's very active with our county veterans and our the rider team. And I went out to the VFW Post 211. It was kind of snowy and icy, but it was a fun time inside. We had bingo for veterans. They brought a busload of veterans in. We conducted bingo, served fish fry for them, and it was just a nice evening, and it was enjoyable to be able to help and watch them having some casual fun. I also received my red T-shirt for Remember Everyone Who's Deployed that night as well. So on February 14th, we did have the Mars opioid action team meeting in the morning, and then also with everyone else, I left for the meeting with the veterans, which was attended by Veteran Services and State Rep Joe Miller. I think one important takeaway that the Veteran Services was able to convey to those who were there with questions is the fact that we as commissioners can't modify or alter the budget that's requested. We can only approve their budget. Now, they're bound by the constraints of what the code will allow them to request. So oftentimes, when you hear that funds are being returned, they're being returned because they have exhausted the allowable amounts and categories that are permitted by the state. But we as commissioners approve every request. When their budget sometimes is inadequate and they come back during the year, if it's something allowable, we are always quick to approve that as well. So I think it was important to get that information clarified with folks who weren't as sure about how that works. On Saturday, the 15th, I went to VFW Sheffield Lake 8686 with my husband. We supported the Valentine's Day dinner they had. They had surf and turf. It was nice. I saw the Joe and Rosa G there and other Sheffield Lake veteran supporters. And then on Sunday after the brunch, I was able to go to Wellington to knock on doors on behalf of LCC's levy, as well as a few nights this week. I've been out, well, day and night, Monday and Tuesday, been out talking to community residents, and mostly I was in Wellington and North Ridgeville, but knocking on doors, just reminding them we need them to get out and vote. We need their support for LCC. It's not enough to say I support them and go LCC. We need them at the polls. And so I think that the face-to-face contact, we're able to stress that to residents, and it's kind of a no-brainer when you walk to the door and you explain that for every $1 in tax dollars returns $14 to our local economy. So again, early voting starts today. Get out there, support LCC. And then Sunday evening, I was able to celebrate my granddaughter Bella's 16th birthday. Oh, wow. Happy birthday, Bella. On Monday morning was the Farm Bureau legislative brunch. It was well attended. A lot of good information was exchanged while we were there. And just talking about the dramatic change in the policies of the Farm Bureau. When I came on board last year, one of the first meetings we had as a group, as commissioners, was with the Farm Bureau, who brought us a copy of their policies. And there were like 4 or 5 policies on there that were just not congruent with reality. And they kind of recognized it. We talked about it. Well, when we looked at this year's policies, they are aligned. We as commissioners are aligned with the Farm Bureau. We support a lot of their programs. We are aligned with our goals and our objectives for our farm friends. And it was nice to see a clean slate and and to see the fruits of good communication. We were able to open the door of communication and get a good result. Illyria's mayor stated the city. Of course, Mayor Whitfield did a great job, and I value his willingness to work with other communities as well as us as a county organization. He had an inspiring message of can do, and one thing that I'd like to share with him, one of my fallbacks that I would always say in the private sector when somebody would say, I don't know if we can do that, or I don't know about that. I would always ask him, stop, tell me, is it impossible or is it just very difficult? And if it's impossible, tell me why. But if it's just very difficult, let's work on it. Mm-hmm. So, and then the Toni Morrison dedication was exactly everything the dedication should be. They've done a beautiful job over at the library. The room has a nice ambiance and a good karma. Commissioner Lundy and I were saying you just feel that karma in there, and I likened it to maybe she's looking down in her spirits there. Mm-hmm. So thank you. That's my report.
Mm-hmm. Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Seeing no other business, I move that we go into executive session as outlined by the administrator and assistant county prosecutor.
You don't want his report.
I need a second.
Second. I just got waylaid.
Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.